And we're live as Tom Cassidy with Mr. Greater Life for All himself, Mark Berger. We were just doing a pre-roll, and Mark was immediately coming up with awesome ideas. So I thought, stop, let's get this recorded, let's get it broadcast. So Mark, straight back at you with this ambassador program.
Yeah, I was sharing with Tom, and I've been talking to friends and different people and stuff like that about Greater Life for All, and then it occurred to me because Greater Life for All is different for everybody, and I was thinking that what a great way to spread the message about Greater Life for All by creating ambassadors.
Yeah.
And a Greater Life for All ambassador, and I shared about it in the chat room, but the way I envision it is that each of us has a different area of expertise, a different skill set, and we associate with like-minded people, So,
Yeah,
like, for instance, teachers associate with teachers.
Yep.
And they go to school, they work, and every profession that I know of has like a trade association or a user group or a place where everybody networks.
Yeah.
And it's at these meetings where these professions. So you're already doing your life. So you're a teacher, and Greater Life for All is that you're actually doing the for all aspect of the whole entire thing, and the different principles. But the main thing is taking you out of the equation and doing things for everybody else, and being an example.
Yep.
So if we're already in our profession, so we're already doing what we're doing, and the great thing about it, about Greater Life for All, is you don't need to change what you're doing. You're doing it right now, and whatever it is, you can make your life a Greater Life for All life. And one thing that I'm doing when I'm interviewing people now about changing jobs and stuff like that, I'm asking them what are they doing at the current job to make it better. Like I'm turning down business, but the thing is that really, I mean, like, and are you going to risk, going to a new place when you're already at some place to like, you don't know the saying the grass is always greener on the side, but you don't know when you go to some place what it's going to be like, a month, 2 months, 3 months down the road. I'm talking to a guy who's at one company for about 8 years, and in the past year, he's on his fourth job. And it's always something else, But what about making your current environment better, right?
Yeah, and if you more than fill your current place, you're more likely to interview well because you'll be kind of in the zone and you'll be given the impression of increase, so you'll be more employable if you want to move, right?
Right, and the whole thing is it always leads back to the weekly focus, which is this chapter. And it's funny because like I shared about this, but I put everything in 2 times speed now, so listen to it twice as much.
Yeah, me too.
So, like, things are really hitting me quicker now with everything, about I'm trying to be the example of where I am at work and everything,
Yeah.
And so the ambassador training program is that, so you're already doing your thing, and then you're going to where your people are. Because we associate with people that we feel most comfortable with in our profession. Yep. So if you go into a network meeting and you're talking to people, be the example of who you are. People will come to you, right? People like to be around people that are, wow, they have this energy. And isn't this what this reading's been about this past week?
Yeah.
The chapters. So people are magnetized towards you because they feel, the impression of increase, the advancing person. So you're putting this out there, and people want what you have.
Yeah.
So an ambassador of Greater Life for All is a person that is going to bring the message out to everybody and be the example of Greater Life for All where they are. Doing what they're doing, living as they're living, not doing anything else but being who they are. Because that's what Greater Life for All is. I'm not asking anybody to change jobs. It's not required to change a job. Why change it? Like, why are you going to look someplace else when you already have all the answers where you are? You know, interviewing for a job is a process. It requires time and energy, and it's scripted and unscripted. You're being put to all these different things. Why go through that when you already are where you are, and you're doing something, you're working? I can understand like people if their situation is totally unbearable and
Or
their life is right.
if they're in an industry that's gradually sort of, reducing in size, and there might be external things, right? But yeah, yeah,
But the answer is in you, you
yeah.
know, because the guy that changed jobs like 4 times in this past year, 2013, 2014, where we are right now, it's always the same story. He's always taking him with him. So our inward environment is reflected in our work environment, and I see it at work. I see like people at work that are like kind of like stressed, and I see it myself, and I'm kind of stressed, and nothing's working, because I'm stressed out. My thoughts aren't stressed, but if I'm living, greater life for all, it's infectious. Number one, people feel it, and they feel the energy about it, and they don't know quite what it is, and people, they think it's them, but it's overall energy of the group that everybody's feeding off. So one person's happy, everybody pretty much can feel it, and I tend to be like to be the center of my own happiness.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm feeling great life for where I am, and people are starting to feel it, and so I talk about it. I'm not afraid to talk about it because it's something that I believe in, and you just have to start getting the message out there to as many people. So that's what the whole entire ambassador training program would be about, is like having, the knowledge about what it is, and also you have to also work on yourself, because you have to actually be, having the gratitude, having the happiness and the joy, and the pressure increase and advancing yourself and all that. So it has to be like inside job. So one of the components of the ambassador program would be walking through steps in which, of what this whole entire science of getting rich is all about, So that's one of the components that I see, like putting all pieces together, they're all different things. But and I'm working with somebody right now, and I'm putting him through my own wheel, 13 by 4 wheel, and I'm
recovery.
For recovery.
Reasonable recovery.
Yes, it's for recovery. And right now, because I'm working with alcoholism, so it's catered more towards alcoholism, but it can be catered towards all types of addictions, because the principles aren't going to change.
Yeah, of course.
The principles are universal for recovery. Every recovery is going to have the same principles, but what's just going to change are just different verbiage, addressing different things. And so I'm working on this wheel. I'm doing it live. I'm working, like, as I'm working with this person, I'm actually creating the different steps, seeing how the steps are kind of like real time. So he's kind of like my guinea pig.
He's your beta tester.
My beta tester, exactly. So I'm beta testing live, real time on somebody, and it's freaking fantabulous. I'm so excited, because like he actually is really grasping onto it, like I didn't expect, and he's catching on to it. And for instance, I had him we had our meeting a couple weeks ago for like the second step, and basically, the second step is power. Power is you. Okay. And I had him write about what his power is. So it's you. Like, the power is something that you identify yourself with. Like, for me, my power is love. My high power is love.
Yeah.
The word that he chose was exuberance. Okay. But it can go either way.
Yeah.
but that's a pretty powerful word, exuberance, you know. And just by the fact that, and I was like, so do you feel it? And he said, you know, in the good side, yeah, I do feel the exuberance. And you know, so he's catching on, and I'm very fresh into, you know, Greater Life for All. We only came up with this concept, you know, about a month or so ago, you know.
Amazing.
And it's so fresh in my mind, I can't stop talking about it. So all of a sudden, you know, I showed him my, you know, I was answering a chat in the WhatsApp groups, and then he saw my phone and saw Greater Life for All in the WhatsApp app. And it's like, so what's this Greater Life for All? But you know, then I started telling him about it, you know. And I brought up about the ambassador program, and lo and behold, I have my ambassador to be trained as well, because he wants to be an ambassador too. So I'm working on with both, you know, the wheel recovery and ambassador training program, both simultaneously. But I'm going to give him a piece to work on, because I would like him to actually, you know, as I am walking through this, is to create a sub like diary program, like his notes. So I'm having him type up everything that he's experiencing, going through, so it would be sort of like a reference point for other people. So it'll be part of the, you know, the program or whatever, you know.
So the good thing is when we get the app up and running, he can make like a record of that in the whole thing, you know, like we'll talk about that now. Sam and I are going to start doing some screen shares, so we actually show people what it's going to look like and how it's going to work, because I'm thinking for exactly what you're doing, in the stage where you're developing your program, you could be like beta testing it real with a guy, and he's kind of customizing it, and then when you're ready, you can say, hey Tom, I've got it, listen, let's make it live and let's let everybody go for it.
I love that.
How cool is that?
What I was thinking about is having a like doing the written piece where, you know, it's gonna be like, you know, obviously the person reads the different, you know, points about, you know, the weekly focus, you know. And then I want to have like an audio component, because people sometimes, you know, like to listen to the instead of reading it, you know.
Like me and you when we're driving.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like people like I'm exactly. So when they're listening and stuff like that, they could adhere to the weekly focus or whatever, and listen to it. And I like the part where you take notes, because there's certain parts where of my program where note taking is extremely important. Like, you know, every step that I'm doing, there's a written component, except for like not every step, but I would say there, you know, about 3/4 of the steps, there's a written component where people have to write stuff, and the writing really helps solidify things.
Well, and that sharing, you are pure evidence that sharing escalates the rate at which you develop.
Yes, and also one thing I'm visioning also is having a group. You know, each person, because I think that one thing that's very important is that there has to be a group where people can go, like, share their experience, strength, and hope with, like you're doing with the WhatsApp thing. So there has to be a WhatsApp component to it also. I think the WhatsApp component is a very vital piece of 13x4 programs. I think the 13x4 program, you know, works fantastically, but I think there has to be the WhatsApp or the group component for it, because it's, you know, it's great to do it on your own, you know.
But it's so much more fun when we're doing it as a group.
You do it together, because also you're actually doing it together. So you're going through it together with someone else, and you're sharing about it. So you're not like, you know, like I'll say something. When I first got sober, I didn't choose to get sober. It was chosen for me. You know, I shared it. I was brought in by the legal system, and I went in through treatment. And when I was done with the treatment center, I had no inclination. It wasn't in my mind to go to any AA meetings.
Yeah.
I was like, I was angry, you know. I didn't want to get sober. And when you're in treatment, they take it to AA meetings with the group, you know. So
Right.
what happened is that I sat home for 2 weeks. I didn't do anything. And a friend of mine called me up, and he asked what I was doing. I was just saying I'm just hanging around or whatever. He goes, well, I've been going to these meetings, you know, and I'm feeling pretty good. And I was like, I was feeling like shit, and he's feeling good, you know. So I
Yeah.
went, and I shared, and I
Yeah.
put a lot into it. And the more I shared, the better I felt. And with this app, the more I share, the better I feel. But I feel better because you could like, think about the WhatsApp group is that you don't have to go anywhere. You just pick up your phone and use your thumbs and type stuff, and
But
and you
it's just
feel.
as good. I mean, it really is as good. Okay, it's probably not quite as good as doing a face-to-face sharing with a group, maybe. But what you've got is you've got the ability to interact with all the different cultures and everyone all over the world. Now, what we're building into the app, into our own version, so it'll be in your version of the app, is the ability to have exactly that group function for the. So let's say your program is reasonable recovery or whatever it is, or like dealing with. Yeah, okay.
Use a
Um,
McLuhan, I like
yeah,
that.
it'll be Mark Berger's program. You'll be the figurehead. Anyone who wants the app. Now, the actual app itself, with your content on its own as a standalone, we see being as free. But if they want the WhatsApp functionality and they want to be able to talk to you or have messages or have the group and support, they pay like $5 or $10 a month or whatever it is, you know.
Yeah.
But then you will be able to teach in that, like I'm doing on the weekly focus for my reasonable wealth and the architect. I can sort of just drop things in here and there. But the main thing is the group, as you say, it's the group sharing effect. So you'll be able to just drop things in for your own 13 by 4 that you are leading on, but it'll be that ability for them to ask questions and then share, and you'll be able to guide them through, and you might be able to do, okay, 7 p.m. tonight, I'm going to do I'll do a live one-on-one over in the chat groups, right? And then you could do that. How cool would that be?
Tom, this is just mind blowing because I've, I'm sharing this because it's coming from a place of like, like I'm, I'm like in disbelief with her, but like I can't believe how short of a period has gone by, and for me, I can only speak for myself and how much I have done, and just to think like I've been thinking about stuff and just been stuck in a how for so long, and I never did anything. And all of a sudden, in 3 months, I've co-written in the book.
Yeah.
I have a blog, which I've been pretty much very active doing. I have these, I have a talk show.
Talk show, yeah.
Which I really like. I'm putting together my program. I'm doing all these things.
And you're an inspiration. All the people in the group.
And I'm having fun, I mean, and the whole thing is that like my family is very money motivated and stuff like that, so they're always asking me, like my dad and my mom, and is like, well, how do you make money doing this? And I'm like, I don't care about it. I'm just having fun doing this, and I think that's the thing because I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
Yeah. And
I'm not worried about making money because this is giving me joy. And I wrote that if I didn't make any money doing it, I wouldn't care. I'm just having fun,
But if you're setting out to make sense, you're setting out to give value, you're setting out with the right principles, the money's going to come. You can't give this much value to so many people and not have them want to have the universe. It's in the universe's interests to support people like you for doing what you're doing because you're bringing greater life to all. So you're going to make a lot of money out of it. You have to.
I'm just, and also the impression increase that people get when they're around me. It seems like the ones that get it, they want more.
Yeah.
And the ones that don't get it, they're on the fence and looking in. Because there's a funny thing is that my director, he's a character, and I wrote about it. But I work from home on Tuesdays, and
That's right.
I went to work yesterday, and he's like, so look who graced our presence today. And he's like, so the next time I call you when you're working from home, I might have to speak to your agent because your T-Flight show, your T-Wish show took off or whatever. And then like we were having this meeting because we were falling behind our goals and everything, and he was saying about being the example and doing things differently, and he made a comment about how I'm doing something with YouTube, and it just made me feel really good, and I'm getting recognized, but I'm just doing things that are outside of work or whatever that bring me joy, and I'm being the joy that I am. And the whole thing also is that I'm not always going to be perfect and everything like that, because I have my script, and my script is there to remind me I have things to work on.
Yeah.
And luckily I have people in my life like my wife to give me feedback about those things. And Greater Life for All is just basically, it's joy. It's not. That's the whole thing. Greater Life for All is just joy, happiness, and love, and doing things for everybody that you want to be done for yourself. And I know that because I talk to people, I know that it's very hard for some people to have gratitude for all, especially when people murder people, steal, people, do horrible things, and it's hard to have gratitude for all.
Yeah.
And Greater Life for All, I heard, is also hard to impress on because everybody has their own interpretation of what that is. But, the whole thing is it has to come from a place of for all, the all mentality. And people are still thinking a lot about self mentality. But, eventually more and more people will get it. And that's why the ambassadors are very key to Greater Life for All, because they're everywhere. They're everywhere, the ambassadors, and they're in the groups, they're infiltrating. They're getting the message out there.
Mind gorillas.
They're doing it because it's them.
Yeah. You're onto something there with that, Mark. You really are, because you're just giving a little bit of structure to. Well, but it's almost like saying that you can carry on doing exactly what you are doing right now in your current job, more than filling your current place, but doing it with the intention that you're bringing Greater Life for All. You will be an ambassador for this code, a code of practice, isn't it? Kind of like.
It's almost becoming, Greater Life for All actually evolves on its own. Like I was telling my wife that I could stop doing I could just stop right now doing Greater Life for All. I could stop it, but you know what? Greater Life for All will still go on.
Yeah.
People will start getting it, and it'll be happening. If my script takes me out of it or not, it's still going to happen. I can't stop it because the word's getting out there. People are getting the impression increase and everything like that, and and people. It's just a way of life, and it's like I think it's the most wonderful thing. And when I talk to people about it, and they get their own impression about it, and their eyes glow and everything, they want a piece of it.
Of course,
everybody wants a piece of Greater Life for All.
And you're giving the impression of increase by talking about it.
And Richard and I we're doing this weekly update thing.
Yeah.
And it just came out of the blue, the Greater Life for All weekly update, and we just want to bring the awareness and the messages out there and make a weekly thing. And there's so much awesome stuff going on. Yeah. It's really amazing.
How do you feel about? I mean, you're obviously you're loving your life, but how do you feel about in such a short period of time? It's not even one complete cycle, and you're just. Your reach and your influence has expanded just like insanely, hasn't it?
I can't believe it. Like my wife changed also the way she talks.
Yeah. She's
not doing the program, but I tell you this much: she's definitely being the example, and
Amazing.
And she's changed.
Amazing.
And in fact, people around me. Because I've changed, people close to me have changed, which is like, pretty amazing, when I think about it. But yeah, I just can't imagine we're heading into this final week or whatever, and how much I've grown and changed from this thing. So flies out here.
It's an astonishing feeling. I mean, we should play people that first session we did on March the 6th.
Yes, I'm fully. I would love it, and I was just thinking about that because I didn't know what to do. I was stuck in the how, and I felt like, but now it's like everything's making sense to me, and I look at people now as being, basically, with my T-Wish show, I would like to have everybody on the show.
Of course.
Because everybody is a somebody.
Yeah.
Everybody is a somebody inside them. Everybody has a voice.
It's greatest. The greatest.
The mission would be of T-With is have every single person on the show. Might be a bold mission, but if I get just keep on interviewing as many people as I can or whatever, So I'm just having fun with this, and I know that you got to go camping. I'm going to a party and stuff, so it's awesome stuff here.
There's plenty more where this came from.
Yep.
As many of these as you like, as anyone wants. What I love about this this whole approach is there's just no limits to it, right? We can talk. We can talk next week when I'm back from camping. You can do tea with everybody. It's just like such a beautiful. There hasn't ever been a time where this technology has made this sort of thing possible.
That's true. And I bought my new mic and I can't wait to play with it.
Is it fantastic? And the influence you're having on your candidates that you're working with and all that sort of stuff. You're in a great. You've got a great opportunity because you interface with so many people all the time, which is probably why you've accelerated so much more quickly than if you'd just been working on your own, just as an IT programmer, right?
Yeah.
Because people are the laboratory of your experimentation.
Right. I experiment with everybody. I change my approach to everybody that I talk to. It's pretty amazing, and I'm getting really good results.
I'm too excited to go straight to sleep, so I'm going to have to sort of wind down a little bit.
All right. But I want to say have a great camping trip.
Camping in the UK, it's exciting, cold and wet. But it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun. I've got this incredible tent, which just it's kind of like it's got a skeleton that is high pressure air, so you just like pump it up in about 1 minute 30 seconds. It goes straight up. It's amazing.
Wow.
It's big 6-man tent. It's great. I love technology when it saves time and it makes things convenient. Literally, the tent will be up in the time it takes us to get the stuff out of the car. It's that good. But it's still not warm. It's still probably we've got 4 days of rain out of the next 5 scheduled. So
yeah, we got a season over here.
Yeah, well, we're going to see people anyway, so it's not we're going to stay with my cousin, and he's married to a Spanish girl, and they've got a baby who's 1 year old on Saturday, so we're having a party, and it's kind of there's nothing better than going to see family and not having to take over their whole house, because when I go visiting, I bring 4 kids, right? So it's like, well, that's what we got the tent for, so we can just camp nearby, and it's awesome. Although I wouldn't want to camp in Florida. I don't think it'd be brutally hot.
Especially during the summertime, it'd be quite sweaty and sticky, and a lot of bugs and mosquitoes.
Oh yeah.
And depending upon the rain as well, the good time to go camping would be in the winter.
Yeah, or February or March or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, looks like in terms of sausage machine, looks like I'm going to be trying to engineer a trip out to Florida for maybe September, October, when Brian's going to be around. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be most awesome.
We're going to do a mini tour. I'll just come over. Brian will be there. You'll be there. We've got a bunch of other people. Sam is obviously in Florida as well, and we've got Sonia in Florida. So we can just do some spontaneous, impromptu, uncomfortable.
I forgot I had that.
Cool. Yeah. unconferences. We can just do some unconferences where we get together and we've got no agenda. Yeah, exactly. All right, buddy. Well, listen, you have a great evening. And
same to you, Tom. Enjoy camping.
I hesitate to say keep doing what you're doing because I know that I couldn't stop you. If I paid you, I couldn't stop you to do what you're doing.
I don't think so.
Amazing stuff. Mark, love to your wife and to your family, and just keep being awesome, sir. It's incredible.
Same to you, my friend. I will see you on the other side.
Yeah, see you on the other side. Nice one. Bye.